part 2 of Beowulf, the coming of Beowulf. In our first section, we met our monster, we met Grendel, this terrifying, bloodthirsty creature who is terrorizing the kingdom in Denmark with King Hrothgar, who's been killing people for 12 years, attacking the hall, attacking everybody, like smashing up warriors, like leaving super grisly, like slaughters all around. And so we have a desperate people who are in need of a hero. And in section 2, we're gonna see the coming of Beowulf. And what I want you to think about while we read, and what we'll talk about, what I'll model for you as I read to you, is the descriptions of our hero. We get, Beowulf gets to introduce himself. So I want you to listen for that, how Beowulf introduces himself, and the backstory of this hero, what we learn about Beowulf in his introduction here in part 2. So that's what I want you to think about as we read it together here. The coming of Beowulf. News went global. In Geatland, Higelac's right-hand man heard about Grendel. Bro, here was a warrior like no other. Massive, mighty, born of noble blood. He called for a ship to be ready for his band and boasted he'd try his teeth on this tale. Sail in as a savior over the Swan Road, seek that king and lend a hand as defender. His elders understood his quest, and though he was dear to them, they knew better than to spear him with speeches. They augured the omens, and ushered him onward. He found 14 fists for hire, the boldest men of the Geats, and enlisted them as fighters. He, as their captain, went aboard to pilot the vessel with sea skill through keen currents and mean depths. Soon it was time to depart. The boat's belly was wet, and beneath the landlocks these warriors met, cheering, bringing battle gear into her bosom. And sand spit and surf sang, they pushed off and sent themselves to sea, made men. The wind sent them surging with a foam-feathered throat. Their bird flew free, sailing with certainty over salt waters. On the second day, she sought ashore and saw cliffs, crags uplifted from the ocean, the end of the voyage. Overboard, the Geats leapt, shifting from sailors to soldiers the moment their souls touched solid earth. Their weapons rattled as they moored the boat, their mail unveiled in sunlight. They thanked God for easy passage and sweet seas. Far above them, the Scyldings' watchman waited. It was his duty to keep these cliffs unclimbed. When his gaze hit gleam, swords and shields glittering across gangplank, passing without permission, Hrothgar's man set out for the sand on horseback, straight spear in hand, to stand formally and question them. How dare you come to Denmark costumed for war, chainmail and swords? There's a dress code, you're denied. I'm the Danes' doorman, and this is my lord's door. Who are you that dare steer your ship for our shore? I'm the watcher of these waters, have been for years, and it's my duty to scan the sea for shield-bearing dangers to Danes. I've never seen any force come so confidently over swells, certain of welcome. No welcome won. Did you send word? No. Were you invited? No. You're not on the guest list, and also, who's the giant? What weapons does he hold? Oh, hell no. He's no small-time soldier, but noble. Look at his armor. I'm done here. Spies, state your secrets or be denounced. Who are you? What's your business? Where'd you come from? I'll ask one more time. You're not coming past this cliff. Answer now or bounce. You men, who, where, why? Okay, so before we continue, we have the introduction of Beowulf, our main character and our hero. And we learn that he's in like a whole separate country. Beowulf is in Geatland, which is like a part of Sweden. So King Hrothgar is not his king. Denmark is not his land. He just hears about it. The poem says that news went global. Everybody started to hear about Grendel, and Beowulf heard about him too. And the first thing he did upon hearing that there was a bloodthirsty monster that's been killing people for 12 years was jump on a boat and head on over there. So we can tell already that he is very brave. In the descriptions of him, we know that he is unlike any other man too. He's huge. He's bold. He's like amazing. He's super strong and buff. Like he is like no other man. And when Beowulf and his men get to Denmark, like the guard is all, who are you guys? Like, what are you doing here? And oh my God, look at that guy. And he's talking about Beowulf. So we get this picture that Beowulf is superhuman already. He stands out. He is way big. He's way buff. He's got sweet weapons. He is very brave. He's willing to jump on a boat and help, like a random king for no reason other than, because they need help and, for the glory. So he is already, in the first few lines of this section, established as a super amazing hero. So we'll see what he says about himself to this guard. Their leader, Beowulf, unlocked his word hoard. He was their senior soldier, so he spat certainty. We are Geats, born and bred, bound to Hygelac. My father was Edge-though. No doubt you've heard of him. He was famous. He lived through winters that would have pressed the life from a lesser, and though he's long since left us, everyone the world over knows my daddy's name. We come in peace, looking for your lord and land shield, the son of Halfdane. Kindly give us directions, and we'll get gone. We are here to offer ourselves up to the Dane's lord, and our plans are open, no secrets from you. Is it true that something savage walks at night? We've heard the stories that misery stalks and rages here, that good men are endangered here by a stranger in this country. We've come to counsel your king on how to cleave his reaver and court calm if there's respite to be had. I'm the lad to bring it. Otherwise, Hrothgar will be grieving and desperate as long as his hall hangs. I see it here on the horizon. Off they went, agreed, leaving their own mount that was wave rover. Hitched to rope and anchor, boars bristled from their cheek shields, gold forced into fierce forms by fire. The watchman led them toward their war. 15 men heeded him and marched with speed until the timbered hall was before them, shimmering, golden, the structure best known under the sun and stars to every citizen on earth. He went with haste to Hrothgar's throne. The old man was gray, huddled in pain with his retainers. Bold Wulfgar stood submissive at his shoulder. He knew the score. He whispered the matter to his lord. Geatlanders have come ashore, sea-sullied from their long sail. Their captain and compeller is called Beowulf. But he petitions for words with you, Hrothgar, most generous. Don't deny them. They're well-dressed, thus well-born, and thus worthy. And the man who led them here, he looks so right. His chest, broad in girth, his armor blazing bright, blatantly of noble birth. Hrothgar, the Scylding's helm, lifted his head. Beowulf. I knew him when he was a boy, and I knew his daddy too. Edge-though, with whom Hrethel the Geat bedded his daughter down. Their son and heir is here to bring health to me. A crew of mine once crossed to Geatland with gifts from me to his father, and they brought back a cargo of stories. Edge-though's boy, they said, had a hand grip as strong as that of 30 men, and as for his band of Geats, hurry, let them in. Holy, how good is God! A hero's been sent here by heaven to defend the Danes from Grendel. At least that's what I hope he's come to do. If he relieves the pressure on our paradise, I'll pay him in gold, go back before he comes to his senses and runs. Bid him appear before his father's friend. He's more than welcome here in Denmark. Beowulf arose, and around him rose his armored army, though some stayed to guard the war hoard by request. They hastened behind their leader through Herod's radiance. Their battle bringer stood before the fire, glowing, and considered his words, his chainmail, the myth-protecting work of a smith, links netted to one another for war glory. His helmet made him look harder, and he spoke from beneath it. My respects to Hrothgar. I am a kinsman of Hygelac, and over the years, no boasts, I've been known for my promise and prowess. I've heard tell of Grendel from sailors. Seriously, the whole world knows the stories, swapped and sworn, of Harrod's Hall's early curfew, how every night you're surrendered to silence when the sun sprints out of heaven, leaving the celestial dome dark. Every elder knew I was the man for you. But blessed my quest, King Hrothgar, because where I'm from, I'm the strongest and the boldest and the bravest and the best. Yes, I may have bathed in the blood of beasts, netted 5 foul ogres at once, smashed my way into a troll den, and come out swinging, gone skinny dipping in a sleeping sea and made sashimi out of some sea monsters. Anyone who F's with the Geats, bro, they have to F with me. They're asking for it, and I deal them death. Now I want to test my mettle on Grendel. Best him, a match from man into meat. Just us two, hand to hand. Sweet. Let me ask one thing, though. King of the Bright Danes, friend of men, dire defender against the dark, he who knows what it means to fight, trust me on this. Don't refuse my humble request. We came a long way, me and my men, to conquer your curse and cleanse Harrod. This task should be ours, and ours alone, as discussed. I'm told your past mocks metal. In that case, I'll make my man Hygelac proud, his fame fiercer. Your boy will enshroud his blade and fight with fingers and nails. No sword, no shield, no safety net, nothing but my grip, a hand-clasp battle to the death. We'll see who wins. We'll know who's got God's favor. If it's Grendel, I'll be a mere chapter in his gory story. He'll feast on Geats, ripping my men limb from limb, and I won't be there to protect them. I'll be dead too. Cheekbones chewed and face forgotten, my body dragged to his lair, where he'll fare alone on my severed head. Make a banquet of my flesh, he and I, alone again, naturally. Don't cry for this broken boy. Don't lay out what's left of me. If warfare revokes my path to Earth's kingdom, just send my mail shirt back to my grandfather. Horrors happen. I'm grown. I know it. Bro, fate can F you up. Okay, so this section really gives us the introduction to Beowulf. So not only does it describe him as being huge and hulking and muscular and noble and amazing to just behold, like this is a man. But Beowulf gets to introduce himself, and he's brought before King Hrothgar, and he does this boast thing. Like, it's really important. First of all, it's really important who your dad was. We talked about how this culture is very like patriarchal. Like when you're introducing yourself, like you need to introduce yourself by your father. So it's like, this was my dad and this is me. And we hear that a lot in this poem. You know, like King Hrothgar is Healfdane's son. You know, he's known by his father's name, and Beowulf is too. Beowulf's like, yeah, you know my dad. My dad is famous. My dad is world renowned. My dad was the best warrior ever. You've heard of him, Edge though. Yeah, I know you have. Like, my dad was something. And so you're almost like establishing your reputation. You know, like Beowulf's like, yeah, I'm Edge though's son. It's me, the son of the best, and I'm the best now. So he introduces himself in that way, but he also is almost like giving him his, like, he's creating a resume, you know, in this boast to King Hrothgar. So he appears and he's like, King Hrothgar, I am here to kill your monster. I know you have this problem. Grendel is attacking, like everybody knows about it. And I'm here to kill that monster. And in his introduction, Beowulf is all like, I've killed ogres, I've killed trolls, I've like dove down into haunted seas and killed sea monsters. Like, I have experience. So he basically lays out the fact that he is the man for the job. Like, he's like, I'm here, I'm gonna do it. There's nobody else that can do this. It's only me. I killed so many monsters. I've done so many awesome things. I'm the son of Edge though, like I am the man. So he really sets himself up as a man for the job. And also, just to up the ante a little bit more, Beowulf is like, I'm not even gonna use any weapons. Like your weapons have been useless on Grendel. So Beowulf's plan A and plan B. He is fighting this monster with his own two hands and nothing else. So he is really setting up to make this battle very epic. And for a listener, like thinking about this super epic hero going up against this scary, fearsome, bloodthirsty monster, like man to monster, no weapons, like no shield, no sword, no chainmail. Beowulf is just gonna be like, this is me. I'm gonna defeat this guy with my bare hands. Like that's really exciting. And that would be super exciting for the audience who is sitting around here listening, like, oh my God, Beowulf is gonna go fight Grendel barehanded. So this next battle is gonna be really set up to be super impressive with our hero, who is not at all humble. Beowulf is like, I'm the best, I've killed so many monsters, I'm ready to face off against this beast. So we have him in one corner, and we have Grendel in the other. Bloodthirsty, like hulking, murderous, evil creature who has been killing for 12 years. So we have like these two sides ready to fight, and in the next section, the battle with Grendel, we'll see how this turns out for our monster.